Well, the process is over, and there's finally a jury in Trump's fraud trial. But that's not the end of Trump and Fox News' clumsy and cowardly attempts to threaten and intimidate these jurors.
And could this be a hung jury? Let's bring in Susan Constantine, jury consultant. Number 2 is the nurse. This nurse scares me if I'm Trump. She's from the Upper East Side, master's degree, not married, no kids, lives with her fiance. Gets her news from the New York Times and CNN.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
You know, it sounded really good until I heard the CNN part of it and automatically strike.
After Jesse Waters ran this segment, Trump reposted it, and then the juror asked to be excused because she was concerned about her identity becoming public. She was concerned for her life.
Well, I'm not so sure about her. What do you think?
On Tuesday, Waters broadcasted extensive biographic details about juror number 2, her neighborhood, occupation, education, marital and family status, and what industry her fiancé worked in. He then concluded by saying,
I'm not so sure about juror number 2. Number 2, a nurse from the Upper East Side with a master's degree. She's not married, has no kids, and lives with her fiancé who works in finance. She gets her news from the New York Times, Google, and CNN. She said 2 things that really stuck out. One, quote, I don't really have an opinion of Trump, and, quote, no one is above the law. I'm not so sure about juror number 2.
just think about that. All this woman's information is now out there for anyone to find her.
Andrew, I want to go straight to this Trump attack on the jurors in his case. Him quoting on social media, they are catching undercover liberal activists lying to the judge in order to get on the Trump jury. This looks like a very sharp challenge for Judge Merchan and enforcing his gag order about jurors.
Yeah, so let me just fill you in. On March 26th of this year, Judge Merchan issued an order to the parties, and the relevant part, and I'm going to read it, says the following, quote, that Donald Trump and any party are prohibited from doing the following: making or directing others to make public statements about any prospective juror or any juror in this criminal proceeding. So it's very hard to see why Donald Trump isn't really egging on the judge to say, I am now in contempt. For whatever political purposes he may be doing that, he is clearly asking for it, and I think that it is incumbent on the judge to treat him like any other party.
Waters also claimed last night that undercover liberal activists are trying to get on the jury, comments Trump then promoted. Does he even know how juries work? You can't just say, I want to be on a jury, knock on the door, and they put you on it. It doesn't work like that.
I'm not so sure about juror number 2.
So the juror, afraid for her own safety, was excused. This is a coordinated attack by Trump and Fox News on the 12 men and women who have been selected to appear on a jury in a case against a former president.
The laws are right. The whole world is watching this New York legal system. This is all election interference at the highest level. It all comes out of Washington because they're losing badly. You know they're losing very badly.
Both sides had their chance to choose or reject from a large pool of potential jurors, but this bacterial skin tag, this cowardly pig, used Fox hosts to expose the identities of these jurors and will likely continue to do so to try and further intimidate them into a not guilty verdict. The prosecutors are asking the judge to hold Trump in contempt for reposting Jesse Waters' comments, but so what? The damage is done and the damage is ongoing. Here's a question for you. If a jury convicts Trump, do you think the people watching this on Fox, the same people who would storm the Capitol calling for the deaths of Pence and Pelosi, do you think they would hesitate for a second to attack a juror, thus sending a message to other jurors in Trump's 3 other upcoming trials?
And all of her friends hate Trump, but I don't know. I'm not so sure about her. What do you think?
Yeah, what I'm concerned about her, for number one, usually I don't like teachers on the defense side. I usually, those are one of my eliminations.
Why?
But the other part
Why don't you like teachers?
Well, because they're usually very opinionated. They're very right and wrong.
Trump needs to be jailed for violating this gag order, but they won't do it. While we kid-glove chubby fingers simply because he was president, he is currently and actively attempting to poison a criminal proceeding by threatening the jurors. It's no small thing. Trump and his clan, going back to Joe McCarthy and Roy Cohn, have used this intimidation as a tool for decades. But these jurors are more than just 12 people. They represent the very foundation of who we are, of our republic. If you can threaten them with exposure, and that's exactly what this is, then Trump's violent followers can find them, or at least the threat will find them.
Yeah, see you later, bye-bye, gone.
Okay.
Now, you might be asking, is Fox giving their names out? No, but they're giving out their jobs, where they work, the area they live, who their fiancé is, and where they work. It's not hard for people to figure out their identities, and people talk.
Gets her news from the New York Times and CNN.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
You know, it sounded really good until I heard the CNN part of it and automatically strike.
I'm not a huge fan of CNN in that I find their reporting to be slow and tedious, but it's honest. I dare Pouty McFunkwinkle to list the lies CNN has told and compare them to the land full of BS that Fox has propagated, starting with the 2020 election and the $2 billion lawsuit for lying about the voting machines. But what Fox is doing now should be personal to all of us. They are attacking citizens who actually accepted the civic responsibility and didn't try to slide out of jury duty in a trial they knew would be huge and a time-consuming responsibility. This whole thing, though, is classic Fox and Trump. They're both cowardly and consistent. Trump has attacked politicians, judges, prosecutors, and is now spreading lies about these jurors. So why isn't he in jail? Stop treating this piece of shat like a celebrity. He's a traitorous mope who tried to overturn the voters, attempted a coup on January the 6th, and is now trying to pervert the law. So here's the rub, and it's a big one. If Trump successfully intimidates enough jurors into hung juries, he will have won more than the trial. He will have successfully shown the world that our system is irrevocably broken. And in that process, we will have invited in our own doom. Because while there have always been people like Trump, weak, hateful little boys yanking on their pud in a pathetic attempt to be a man, today, unlike then, we have Fox News, social media, and an underbelly of hate-filled white nationalists with a leader.
Stand back and stand by.
And yeah, of course, the jury system has always had issues.
And could this be a hung jury?
I mean, it's 12 diverse people brought together to assemble a jigsaw puzzle in the dark. It's not easy judging others, but it happens every day and the results speak for themselves. But if Trump and his adolescent butt plugs at Fox can subvert it through intimidation, well, everything's gone. Our nation is like the frog in the pan of water on the stove, not noticing the heat until it's too late. But it's not too late. To that point, I remain confident that Trump's cognitive decline and his amoral presence in our midst will facilitate his end, and soon. If not this trial or the next one, then on November the 5th. My optimism stems from my life experience that people can only put up with certain things for so long. And whether or not our nation makes it is up to us. To steal a phrase, I feel confident. But the jury is still out.
Who's with me?
Hi, what's up?
Time to pack it up.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
Thank you so much for watching. You know, YouTube frequently penalizes my videos for taking on controversial subjects, hurting our ability to earn ad revenue, which we use to hire more hosts and make more videos. We think it's so important to make these videos now and expose a Republican cult. So please join us on Patreon. The link is in the comments. We literally can't make these without you. Thank you so much. For Really American Media,
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.